Is now actually the time that we'll get to see the Jaydn Ott breakout?
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation, and welcome to Locked On Sooners, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today over at FanDuel. He's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel at Unfair Sports. I'm John Williams of USA Today and Sooners Wire. Well, Sooners Wire at USA Today. On today's show, the Oklahoma Sooners defense is for real. There's a lot of numbers that support that. Michael Hawkins Jr. ready to roll into Kent State. But Jay, one of the more intriguing things that was said during Brent Venables and Ben Arbuckle's press conferences related to transfer running back Jaydn Ott, kind of the mystery man of the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, it's been a common theme and conversation around him has been everybody is saying that he's getting dialed in, getting focused, getting this, getting that. And my theory on him still is that that shoulder has been bothering him more mentally than anything. I say that because when he first got here, John, the thing he talked about was when he was at Cal, that ankle injury, he should have took some time off, but instead he played on it. And he kind of suffered throughout the season because of it. He gets here, he gets bigger, he gets stronger, he gets faster, and he's going up against a legitimate SEC defense. Then he has a shoulder injury, and he misses a couple weeks of camp. Well, as he's getting healthy, to me it felt like his mind was stuck on thinking about that injury from Cal of, I should take some time before I play. And I think he had a mental block because I think they talked to John Mateer, they've talked to a couple other players, and they've all kind of said, yeah, he's getting in a better headspace. And every time I've heard that, I'm like, nah, I think it's something more up here than anything. And now it appears he is 100%. He's good to go. And I say that because I've seen people take pictures with him and talk about him, and it appears he's back really engaged. And then Ben Arbuckle says he had his best week here in the bye week in practice. I think we may actually finally get some Jaydn Ott time.
I hope so. I'm not going to put a whole lot of eggs in that basket.
Oh, I am. We paying him way too much to not be playing against Kent State.
Listen, I get it. No, I totally get it. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes you got somebody on your books at the NFL level that's eating up a ton of your cap space, but you can't put on the field.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's very true.
And if you're right, and it is one of those things that's just the yips, or he just has some kind of mental block about playing with an injury, then give him the time that he needs to get both physically and mentally right, because there's no good that comes from putting somebody who's not mentally right on the football field.
No, that's a fair point. And you want to make sure that if he's going to play, he's ready to truly contribute. And so if what Arbuckle is saying is true, that he's had his best week of practice, then he should play in this Kent State game. Yeah. And I'm going to be ridiculous when I say this, but I'm not going to say it now. Y'all got to tune in on the next episode when we talk about the preview for Kent State, because I've got some absurd requirements for that game. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I have absurd requirements for that game. So if he's going to play, cool. I just need him to be all in. Give me that. I think I'll be happy.
Yeah, Jay's blowing way past the bold predictions. He's going to the obscure or the obtuse or obnoxious predictions that we're going to get ahead of this
way past it.
But Ben Arbuckle, to kind of summarize what he had to say about Jaydn Ott, he said he had a great bye week of practice, had a great urgency about him, and followed that up with a great walkthrough on Monday. Excited for him and the opportunities that could come his way, which to me lends to the idea that they're going to play him and try and play him a lot and just see if they can get him going in this Kent State game. And hopefully that carries over into the Texas game and the rest of the season. I don't think it's going to detract from what you're getting out of Torrey Blaylock and maybe from even Javonte Barnes. But if you can get Jaydn Ott right, there's a lot of potential for the running game. At the same time, you got to get your run blocking going a little bit better so that your running backs have a little bit more room to run. Even just a little bit more room to run makes a big difference for a running back because it is a game of inches. And those inches often can be just, hey, I get to make it to the second level before I get touched, or I'm getting touched as I'm trying to get to the line of scrimmage and I can't get but 2 to 3 yards on a carry. So I'm excited about the potential of Jaydn Ott. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those things, kind of like the 2024 season when we kept getting told that, hey, this wide receiver is about to be back. That wide receiver is about to be back. We're about to be healthier up front. Everybody's close. We're getting close. And then it never really materialized. I'm kind of in the same boat for Jaydn Ott right now, that until I see him producing on the field for the Oklahoma Sooners, and maybe it happens this week. And if it happens this week, I'll be ecstatic. That'd be great because you need as many good players producing and performing as you can as you get ready for that 7-game SEC stretch to finish the season. So if Jaydn Ott's good, then let's go.
No, and I think you valid point of last year. I think the difference this year in this Ott situation is that we have seen Ott on the field a few times. Whereas last year we kept saying somebody's coming, they're coming, they never show up, or they show up one game and then we never hear from them again. And it's just kind of just vanished. Whereas here we've seen him kind of get placed here and there as they're trying to get him going. And the Kent State game is probably the best. I've said this numerous times. So for the uninitiated, for those that are initiated, you're hearing a repeat. So my bad. But the uninitiated, I've been talking about this for a while, that our schedule is lined up borderline perfect for us. That 5-game stretch is going to be tough. Coming up with Kent State, and then you got Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss at the crib, and you go out to Tennessee. But the way that our breaks are is like perfect for how we needed the season to go. We needed to start off 4-0, tough games. You got a little cupcake in between each tough one, so it helps. And now you get that exact same thing going forward. So you get basically, quote unquote, 2 weeks of rest heading into the Texas game, where Texas got a tough slate with Florida. Actually got a pretty good defense. This is the perfect week for Hawkins and Ott to show out and give us something. Like, to me, like I said, we know we're paying him a lot, and we know he's got the talent. He's shown it on tape before. I mean, he did pretty solid against Auburn when they played. I mean, solid. Not the greatest, but it's solid. He goes out there and gives you the numbers you're looking for, John. He goes out there and does some absurd stuff. Now you have confidence in your run game for the rest of the season. This is the game where you get that, period. If it ain't this game, redshirt him, he hit the portal.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to extrapolate anything from Kent State over the rest of the season, because Kent State is a bottom 3 team in college football. According to SP Plus metrics and pretty much any other metric you want to throw out there. I think I did the math just a little bit ago, and in their last 3 games against Buffalo, Texas Tech, and Florida State, they've lost by a combined average of 35 points per game. Now, if you just want to include Texas Tech and Florida State, that are 2 top 25 teams, the blowout is even more significant. So Oklahoma's going up against a really bad team this week. Even if Jaydn Ott can get going, great. But it won't be until I see him against Texas or South Carolina and producing and performing that I'll feel great about where the run game is headed.
Put it this way, I can get a lot from Kent State. If it ain't good, it ain't going to be good.
Yes, that's the part that you can't extrapolate. If they can't run on Kent State, if they can't run on Kent State, they're not going to be able to run on anybody and just go 4 and 5 wide and sling it around.
John, Kent State has given up 1,000 yards in their first 4 games this season. in rushing.
They're not good.
It's been 4 games, and they've already passed 1,000.
They're not
That's
good.
what I extrapolate. So I get what you mean.
Yep.
But for me, this tells me everything I need to know about what we should be doing. We better get at this game. Period.
If they can't get 150 to 200 yards rushing in this game,
that's low.
I know it's low.
250.
My expectations are low, Jay. My expectations.
No. We will not do that anymore, John. We are 4-0. We will put the expectations of highest against one of the bottom feeders of this league. We will put on this team. If we're not running for a minimum of 300 yards, I'm gonna have an issue. You're gonna hear me complaining on the live post game. I promise you. I'm gonna lose my mind.
All right. Got the pen out, writing that down. 300 yards rushing for Jay.
Yep.
Okay, it's written down. We'll revisit this. How disappointed will Jay be if Oklahoma doesn't run for 300 yards? We'll discuss that on the live show on Saturday night. Make sure you're tuned in to Locked On Sooners wherever you get your podcasts, but on YouTube for the live show. Michael Hawkins Jr., he's going to be ready to roll. Let's discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Picks awards than anyone else as of August of 2025. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to the available Napa leather upholstery. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved.
And most people can't name all of their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. If you're looking for ways to save, Monarch can show you ways that you're spending maybe more than what you thought you'd be spending, all within the app. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege. Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Michael Hawkins Jr., he's the man of the hour for the Oklahoma Sooners, getting his first start of the season, his first start since the Navy game. And what is this now? His fifth college start? Because he started.
Yeah, you got Auburn,
Texas,
South Carolina,
Navy. So yeah, his fifth collegiate start against, again, one of the worst defenses in college football.
It's
not
so
good.
bad.
A great opportunity for Michael Hawkins Jr. to kind of rewrite some of the thought processes out there about him and his future with the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm correct, Florida State in their game, because they played Kent State, like a week or two ago. Kent State's going on a tour of collecting money from all of these schools in college football.
Kent State is 1-3 on the season. They opened with a win against Merrimack College.
Who?
And then they lost to Texas Tech in week 2, lost to Buffalo, and then lost to Florida State, giving up 60 plus to Texas Tech and to Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State had 498 yards rushing in that game. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs with over 40 yards rushing in the game. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people had at least one carry in this game. Actually 11, because Sperry lost 5 yards, which I think is considered a sack, but I digress. That's Kevin Sperry, that is. Old friend alert.
Friend
but hey, Kevin Sperry was 4 for 5 for 64 yards in that game.
My man.
My point behind all of this is they likes to give up the yards. They gives it up
Yeah.
willingly. Here, you can have it. It's all yours. That's why I lost my mind in the other segment about this. But I do think that Michael Hawkins should be able to go out here and put up some numbers. This is a game that gives him the opportunity to warm up and get used to the guys in the room. Because, of course, we don't know if John Mateer will be ready for Red River.
Mm-hmm.
John Mateer's telling everybody he's going to play. That's why he came to Oklahoma, is to play in Red River. Totally understand that. But we don't know if he's going to be able to play in Red River. So you got to tune up that quarterback and have prepared. And this is the perfect opportunity. Michael's seen Texas before. He knows what he needs to do. He's got healthy wide receivers and Giovanni Gibson coming back. Plus you got everybody else. So you've got a full room of healthy receivers. You've got a basically healthy offensive line. And now we just need the running game to follow it. And so to me, it's funny because the score of this game to me doesn't matter as much. It's the yards of production. If we win this game 35-0 and we get 600 yards of total offense, I'm happy. This is the stat padding game. This is the game where you go out there, regardless of how dominant you can normally be, John, that you just go put up numbers. You just put up statistics. You ain't put up points, put up statistics. And I think this is a good opportunity for Michael Hawkins to really get out there reading defenses and just let it sling. Because as Ben Arbuckle said in the presser, BV's even said it, this dude's been a sponge. And Coach Kuzieski's been working with them. And even his dad has been hyped about this coaching staff and how they've been working with them. Mm-hmm. And y'all know how he was last season. So my point is, if you get Hawk Sr. over there, like, obviously they're doing some stuff right. Because that man is vocal when he needs to be.
Yeah, and it just makes sense that he's going to have a better opportunity to develop this year because, again, he's behind a quarterback with a lot of experience, the guy that led the nation in total touchdowns last year. He's learning from an offensive coordinator in Ben Arbuckle and a quarterback's coach in John Kuzieski, assistant quarterback's coach, let's be specific here, and John Kuzieski, who have a track record of developing quarterbacks. From Western Kentucky to Washington State, now to Oklahoma. It's Bailey Zappi and Cam Ward, who are both in the NFL, and John Mateer, who's well on his way to being in the NFL. So what's not to like? You've got a lot of experience and guys that you can actually learn from. Whereas last year, and I think Brent Venables, not necessarily trying to throw shade at last year's staff, but in a way kind of throwing some shade. You got to have the right people in the room. And between Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley and Kevin Johns and Jackson Arnold, who was a pup from a quarterback's perspective, it wasn't the right situation to try to develop from. And thankfully, we get kind of a do-over with Michael Hawkins Jr. this year. And thankfully, he's mentally tough enough that he can bounce back from the woes of last year. You know, this is a kid that just puts in the work. And I think that's the thing that's impressed everybody that's been around him is he just works his tail off. He's not going out there just expecting things to happen. He's putting in the work in the off season, in the winter time, whenever he can, so that he can be the best that he can be. And I really do think we're going to see a significantly improved Michael Hawkins Jr., a more confident Michael Hawkins Jr., when we see him this Saturday against Kent State or at any point during the regular season this year.
Yeah, I think the confidence is going to be what's key. And by getting the confidence, that makes me feel like we'll be just fine going forward. Like I've even heard a few people say that even those others have been freaking out about, the no Mateer situation. A lot of people are like, I think Oklahoma's going to be fine with Hawkins out there, especially because not only does Hawkins come in here with the healthy weapons around him, but he also got that defense to back him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a defense that, okay, I don't have to go and put 40 on the board. Nope. It's an offensive line that's actually going to give me time in the pocket. It's wide receivers that are actually going to catch the ball when I throw it to them, are going to be able to get open down the field so that I can throw it to them. Whereas last year, you didn't have any of that. You didn't have pass protection. You didn't have a scheme that was going to be conducive for your young quarterback. You didn't have any wide receivers with production to their ledger before they got to Oklahoma, and really at any point during the season last year. Only a few big plays led to what we did get out of those wide receivers. There's just no consistency. You have a much more consistent wide receiver room this year, even though you've had different guys lead the team in yards each week. Although Isaiah Satania has led them each of the last 2 games, you're still a whole lot more consistent with Burks, Satania, Keontez Lewis, and then the X factor in Jaren Kanak. I mean, he's going to have a field day. If they decide to throw Michael Hawkins 50 times, the dude could throw for 500, 600 yards. It's crazy. But
the fact that you got 3 dudes over 200 yards, 4 dudes over 200 yards receiving this season is pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to surpass last year's receiving totals in like 2 or 3 games.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Like you might not end up with a 1,000-yard receiver, and that's okay, but you might have 4 or 5 guys with 500 to 800 yards receiving. And to me, that's going to be more indicative of this offense's growth and development and how productive they can be if it's diverse and the wealth has been spread quite well.
John, we had 5 receivers last year over 200 yards receiving for the whole year.
Yeah.
With 3 of them being under 300 yards receiving for the whole year, and only 2 going over 300 yards in Hester and Sharp. We're going to surpass that this week.
Yeah. No, yes. Yeah. Like Bauer Sharp, like Jaren Kanak will probably surpass Bauer Sharp's numbers either this week or next.
This week.
Yeah. And
Teenage 20.
You can end up with 3 or 4 guys around 300, 400 yards receiving at the end of this week.
He needs 17 yards, and Jaren Kanak will pass Bauer Sharp from last season.
Nuts.
He needs 17 yards.
And that dude just started playing linebacker or started playing tight end this year. It's crazy. What a development.
Shout out to JJF.
I'm talking enough about Jaren Kanak.
Jaren Kanak and JJF. Shout out to JJF for, I guess, helping him along the way. This is wild.
I know. JJF, Joe John Finley, is easily the punching bag for Sooner Nation, but you can't discount what he's done with Jaren Kanak, or at least the part that he's played in Jaren Kanak's development. Let's talk defense, because that's been the biggest story of the Oklahoma Sooners so far in 2025. And I just don't know how many more ways that we can say it. This team is elite defensively.
The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Place a bet, put down $5, and if you hit, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. As y'all know, I travel often, and in order to keep myself busy while watching games, I'll toss something on a game here or there, because it's very easy to get into the app and make a selection. It takes me seconds to go in, pick some plays, or even build up a quick little parlay, throw $5 on there, and boom, maybe I get lucky enough to get some wins in there. You can do the same thing too. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
And today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood the neighborhood. These are the places that become an extension of home, whether it's the sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot with the best wings in town for game day, or that beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years. These businesses are what bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. One of my favorite businesses in the Norman area, Abbey Road Catering. They did my wife and I's wedding, and it was just immaculate. The food was spectacular. We got rave reviews from our guests, and she just puts on this beautiful display over there. Chris Abbey and her team do a remarkable job catering. And if you're looking for catering for a big event or a small event, you got to go check out Abbey Road Catering. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, speaking of odds over at FanDuel, right now, the line for Oklahoma-Kent State, Oklahoma by 45.5. Ooh. No love at all toward the Golden Flashes.
Zero love.
Yeah.
Whatsoever for them.
45.5. That's like, I mean, that's what the Illinois State line should have been. Or, yeah. I mean, that's like that
we
kind
thought.
Of line. Yeah.
I mean, Illinois State ain't lost a game since they played us. That goes for something, right?
Yeah. I mean, that does go for
same thing with Temple.
We got them right.
Think about it.
Got them boys right.
We got them lined up the way they need to be lined up. Well, actually, Temple lost to Georgia Tech right after us, but not by a lot. But I digress. It's 45-24. So it's actually a pretty solid game. But anyway, the defense is legit, though. Let's just put it that way. We got them right.
It's too legit.
Forged in fire. They got an understanding of what to do. Too legit, too quit. Let me use some numbers, John. You ready?
Let's go.
National scoring defense rank after week 5. Oklahoma is ranked number 3 in the country. That's second in the SEC, right behind Texas, with LSU behind at number 11, Missouri at 19, Florida at 24th, and Auburn 27th, Alabama at 28th, Vanderbilt at 31st. Mississippi State 32nd. That's scoring defense. Bananas. All right, next one. Third down defensive rank nationally. Number 1 team in the country is who?
Boomer!
Sooners are number 1 with Missouri right behind them at number 2, Texas at 5, and Texas A&M rounds out the top 10 SEC teams, part of the SEC nationally in the country. Third down, which is bananas. Explosive plays on defense, allowing plays of 20-plus yards. In the national rank, Oklahoma is ranked number 7 in the country. Texas is number 3, Oklahoma 7, and then right closest one to both of those teams is Alabama at 22, with Florida tied at 22. The defense is legitimate. Yeah. I think that's kind of the whole point here is I know people want to downplay who we played against. They want to downplay how some games went. But the one thing we've learned more and more about Brent Venables' defense is it really is a bend, don't break, while at the same time pushing the envelope as much as possible, right? Like they're making sure that you're not getting the massive explosive plays all the time. You're going to get 1 or 2 because bust it's going to happen. But the goal of this defense is to make it as tough as possible in every other play possible. Like third down conversions, it's one of the hardest teams to convert on. That's what you want your defense to be.
Right.
No one's going to not be able to allow any. It's going to be impossible. But, John, they're doing everything that we've been asking for and more.
Yeah. Do you remember the time when third downs were just kind of an adventure and you just never really expected your Oklahoma Sooners football team to get off the field? Do you remember that time? I remember that time.
I just remember pretend like that time never happened.
Yeah, I remember doing this show, remembering that time and thinking, I have no faith that Oklahoma can get off the field on a third down. It doesn't matter if it's a third and short, a third and long, no faith. Now, I expect it. I expect anytime that Oklahoma gets into a third down situation defensively, they're getting off the field because they just do. Whether it's third and short or third and long, Oklahoma does what they want on third downs and they win. And they can win. If you want to try and run it up the middle on third down, guess what? You're going to have to deal with Jaden Jackson and Dominic Williams. You want to try and drop back to pass on third down? Well, guess what? You're going to have to deal with Jaden Jackson on the interior, Grayson Alt and David Stone, R. Mason Thomas off the edge, Taylor Wine off the edge, and a blitz-happy Brent Venables. Good luck. I mean, I just say good luck. Like, if you've got a quarterback that is uncertain about anything that he's seeing out on the field, he's going to have a really, really difficult time playing against Brent Venables' defense because Brent Venables is going to come after him. And then when he doesn't come after him, you're still going to have to deal with a relentless pass rush that I think is first in the nation in pressure created with just 4 rushers. Like this is a legitimate defense. They can blitz you and win. They can just rush 4 and win. They can do whatever they want to do and win.
I don't think people understand just how how good in the advanced and the raw numbers this defense has been. Like just the raw data, we're one of the top defenses, yards, all of that. Regardless, I mean, think about it. Everybody has played at least 1 or 2 cupcakes. And others have also played about 1 or 2, P4 teams. And the teams that we've played, besides Auburn, after us, still put up big numbers. Like Michigan went out and was re-putting those numbers back up. It's like Oklahoma was like the big dip, and then the numbers came back up. That big win against Nebraska they got, they was putting up numbers. Couldn't do it against us.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we were hoping for from Brent Venables' hire. And I'll keep preaching this, John. This is the thing I've preached numerous times. This is the only reason why I have said Brent Venables ain't going to lose his job. If the defense wasn't improving, I'd say, yeah, he got to go. Because that's what you brought him for. And I say that about Hugh Freeze. You brought him in to be an offensive guru. The offense is regressing. Peyton Thorne threw for 3,000 yards at Michigan State. Never. Auburn has had 2 3,000-yard passers in the last 20 years.
It's crazy.
There's something there. But my point is, if BV was not providing us with a defense that was improving, because at some point it's going to go back to top 15-ish range. It's not going to be able to sit in the top 5 forever. But he finished this one's top 5 like he did at Clemson and have another season like that, a little dip, and then go back. Dude's going to be here dang near forever.
Yeah, to me, the only question is, how do they replace Ben Arbuckle when he eventually goes and gets a head coaching job?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to happen this year or next year even. Just what do they do when that happens? Because that, to me, is going to be the only thing that holds Oklahoma back from being
inevitable.
Successful. Yeah. It's inevitable. You're going to have turnover. You can't have no turnover. What they've had on the defensive side of the ball, where they've been able to retain everybody but their linebackers coach / Ted Roof, Zach Alley, and they left for very different reasons. The fact you've been able to retain everybody else is pretty incredible. It's just now, okay, finding offensive coordinator continuity that you can build upon over the next however long Brent Venables is here. But defensively, I have no issue with the direction that Oklahoma is heading. That's why I'm so excited about the 2025 recruiting or 2026 recruiting class, even though it may not have like some of the 5-star prospects that you want to have. Like the guys that they're bringing in are going to be fast, physical freaks that are just going to fit right into what Oklahoma is wanting to do defensively, which is play fast, play physical, be aggressive, and just try to do everything you can do legally on a football field to punish somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean, the direction that Brent Venables has this thing headed defensively, man, it's super exciting. And I think we're still just scratching the surface.
Just wait until the big 3 at safety all are on the field at the exact same time, punishing people, right? Those guys. Then your young corners, when you is Cortland and Eli as your main guys, as Gentry and them graduate, and you start to see Malik Hawkins as well as Tristan Haynes along the line. It's the only question I have on this team, because I know the defensive line is pretty stout for these 2 years. Linebacker. What's that going to look like?
Yep.
Question is, if Kobe and Kip come back for one more year, you're golden. If they don't, just got questions. You want to see who's going to be the ones that step up and take over. But his defense has at least 2 years, and then we just need to see who's next in line to step up to become that dude. Yeah. And I think we have good depth, and that's not something we could have said in the past.
No, because like right now, your 4-man defensive tackle rotation looks really, really good. Dominic Williams, Grayson Halton will graduate. They'll go off to the NFL after this year. Well, then it's led by Jaden Jackson and David Stone. Then it's going to be time for guys like Marcus Strong and Trent Wilson to come up and be a part of that next group of 4-man defensive tackle rotation. So yeah, there will definitely be some questions down the road, but for this season, it's going to be so much fun to watch every single week because this team is just going to absolutely impress and put on a show. And I can't wait to see it this week against Kent State. Oh, Golden Flash. Make sure you say some nice things to your mom because it's going to be a long one for you Saturday afternoon. That's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. What?
Finish. I told you to be nice to them, John.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They need it.
I mean, listen. Just get yourself some good barbecue while you're here, because
Sean Lewis ain't there no more, man.
You don't know.
Ain't got a guy that fights for him like that.
Yeah, you don't know what barbecue's about. So make sure you get some good ribs or something while you're here. Get you some good brisket.
Wow.
Enjoy the nice fall Oklahoma weather. That's probably going to be blazing hot Saturday afternoon because it usually is until it gets October. I guess it's going to be October. Dang, it's already October.
It's October, man. October 1st, man. What are you doing?
I'm tired, guys, and I'm feeling feisty, and I apologize. I was out yelling at a bunch of kids on the soccer field, and it just has my energy at another level. But anyway, I digress.
All right.
Again, enjoy. We'll be back to continue to break down Oklahoma versus Kent State this week. We'll also be here live after the game, breaking down everything that we saw and everything that transpired on Saturday. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. Follow him at Unfair Sports and check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. I'm John Williams. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners. Until next time, he's Jay. I'm John. Boomer.
Sooner. Gotta be nice to him, John. They don't bring
I'm not feeling hospitable right now, Jay.
Be hospitable.